Talking about constant snacking. I can't seem to lose weight.
Constant snacking.
Snacking.
끊임없는 군것질.
Okay. Yeah, that's a hard one.
It is.
So do you do a lot of 군것질?
I used to. My mom is really bad.
Really?
She doesn't eat meals. Like, she just snacks.
Really?
Oh, her favorite thing? She says, I'm just going to snack through lunch.
Like, what would she eat?
Crackers, potato chips. Oh, it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just, that was the way she ate. She ate a little, she didn't like eating big meals. So she just ate a little bit at a time.
Okay.
But that ends up being,
right.
like
That's
unhealthy.
actually bad.
So I think growing up, I had a lot of snacks. And then I had to go to university and learn to stop eating snacks.
Really?
But
Interesting.
I lost like 20 kilo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So first of all, before we actually start, what's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack, recently it's like chips and salsa.
I love nacho chips.
Nacho chips with like
love-
nacho cheese
Oh yeah.
and some...
Guacamole?
I'm not a guacamole. I like guacamole's fine,
Okay.
but I prefer like tomato salsa.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about constant snacking. Come down to something is our first expression.
So this is how you can summarize something. This is the basic summary or the key point of something.
Key point. Okay. Find yourself.
This means to really know who you are. You as a person. What kind of person am I?
Okay. And self-control.
This is your 자제력.
Yeah.
Your ability to stop yourself from doing something.
When it comes to food, we have no self-control.
Yeah, no self-discipline either.
Okay. Let's go ahead and listen to our power dialogue.
I don't know why I can't seem to lose weight. I work out 3 times a week and walk every day.
If you're exercising, then it comes down to what you're eating. You're consuming more calories than you're burning.
I've tried to be careful about what I eat, but I often have snacks between meals.
Are they healthy snacks?
Not always. I sometimes find myself reaching in the cupboard for a handful of cookies.
You can't lose weight if you don't have any self-control.
Okay, you can find our Power Dialogue on page 38 of our Power English book. Constant snacking. I can't seem to lose weight. 살이 안 빠져요. I can't lose the weight.
뭐 해도.
어떻게 하면 돼요?
Whatever I do, I can't lose this weight.
All right, Paul says, I don't know why I can't seem to lose weight. I work out 3 times a week and walk every day. Now, this is an interesting setup. I can't seem to lose weight. Instead of saying, I can't lose weight, why do we have seem to lose weight? Is there a difference?
The meaning is slightly different. If he says, I can't lose weight, it kind of feels like he knows because he went to the doctor and the doctor did some tests and said, hey, your body, you can't lose weight.
Oh, okay.
You know, like some people have like medical conditions that really, they can't lose weight. Seem to means like, I mean, I've tried a few things.
I've tried, yeah.
I surely I should have.
Yeah.
So the seem to here makes it less sure, right?
Right. What am I doing wrong? So Andrea says, if you're exercising, then it comes down to what you're eating. You're consuming more calories than you're burning. Yeah, because Paul is like, well, I'm exercising. I'm eating okay. I'm not eating junk food. But Andrea says, it comes down to what you're eating. So it comes down to.
Yes. So it comes down to means this is the result. This is the summary. This is the key point. So Andrea says, well, you're exercising. So that means the only problem left, the only possible solution left, it comes down to what you're eating.
Got it.
So
the key is what you're eating.
What you're eating.
Okay. So you're consuming more calories than you're burning. So usually we use the verb burn with calories, to burn calories.
Right. In Korean as well, you can use like 태우다.
Yeah.
You can also use 소모하다, right? And these are also burning related verbs used for calories because calorie, I understand, is actually a unit of heat. So it's a unit
That's
of
why it's burned.
heat energy. So that's why, like if you have a fire, you could measure how much heat energy is coming off of that fire
Right.
in calories if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why.
Thank you for that scientific explanation, Cameron. Dr.
So
Cameron.
you burn calories. You can
Burn?
say like
Oh.
use calories if you want, but I would say burn calories is the most common.
Agreed. Okay, what does Paul say?
I've tried to be careful about what I eat, but I often have snacks between meals.
Okay, here's the problem. Okay, and that is snacks between meals.
Yeah.
And Andrea says, are they healthy snacks?
Paul says, not always. I sometimes find myself reaching in the cupboard for a handful of cookies.
Okay. So, are they healthy snacks? And Paul says, not always is his answer. And that's our power pattern today.
Yes.
Not always is how many times? Or
Right.
when? Like, yeah.
So this is kind of an unclear phrase, right? We know what always means, right?
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
So when you put not, it's the negative form.
Right.
So not always can really be anywhere from 99% of the time, because it's not 100%, right?
yeah.
99% of the time to 1% of the time.
Well, that's a very big scale there.
Right. Because sometimes I feel even native speakers will say not always when they really mean never. Not always.
So it's like, are they healthy snacks? No. Instead of just saying no, feels a little bit better to say not always.
Right, yeah. So it is really unclear just from the phrase not always how often it is and how often it isn't.
Okay. I sometimes find myself reaching for cookies. So you find yourself, and this is a very common expression, I find myself doing something.
Yes. So this is an interesting expression because you're saying, I do this action or I feel this way, but it makes you feel like, well, I didn't want to do it, but I have no memory. I woke up and I was doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find myself reaching in the cupboard, meaning my brain was turned off. And when my brain turned back on, I ate the entire bag of cookies.
Yeah. So it's almost like subconsciously.
Yeah.
Not unconsciously, but subconsciously.
Right. And that is the meaning of this phrase. That doesn't mean that's what actually happened, right?
Right.
He probably was thinking about the cookies the whole time.
Of course.
But because he is using the sentence in this way, it makes him feel like, well, I didn't really want to.
Yeah,
and like
but it just-
logically.
but like, I don't know what happened.
I just gave in to my desires.
All right.
So,
And then what does Andrea say?
you can't lose weight if you don't have any self-control.
Okay, so in order to lose weight, you must have self-control.
Yes.
Self-control.
This means you can stop yourself from doing something. It is really interesting. It's usually about stopping yourself from doing something, not as much about making yourself do something you want to do.
Okay.
Right? It's usually about, oh, I want to eat a cookie, but I don't.
But I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good. We'll give you more examples in just a bit. Let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
I don't know why I can't seem to lose weight. I work out 3 times a week and walk every day.
If you're exercising, then it comes down to what you're eating. You're consuming more calories than you're burning.
I've tried to be careful about what I eat, but I often have snacks between meals.
Are they healthy snacks?
Not always. I sometimes find myself reaching in the cupboard for a handful of cookies.
You can't lose weight if you don't have any self-control.
It's time for Power Note. Please join us on pages 40 and 41. Now, come down to something means to kind of summarize.
Yes.
The key point. Okay. How did you get so good at golf, Harrison?
It all comes down to commitment and daily practice. So those are the most important things, commitment and daily practice. Going
Yes.
in every day to practice your golf swing.
Yes. Being a good parent comes down to patience and love. Okay, As a parent, love just comes. But patience, you really do need patience if you want to be a good parent.
Need a little patience. Yeah, it's so true.
Oh, boy.
Children are annoying.
Children are hard.
Even your own children, I feel, at some point, they are going to make you angry. They're going to do something. And, like, it's not always their fault because they're a child. They're learning how to live in the world. It's their first time to live in this world.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get used to it.
Yeah, so, sure, parents, you can have all the love, but you really do need patience and understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real test. I tell you, when you have a child, it really tests your character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a child, but I have heard from many people who do get children, and they just say you become a superhuman.
You do.
Like you realize you can be more patient, or you can just work harder for this child more than you ever thought you could before you had them.
Right. So when you use this expression, come down to, it's like, this is the essential point. Learning English or speaking good English or learning how to speak English comes down to, like, practice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's just no way around it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would always, for most people, that they're like, oh, how do I improve my English? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
If I really look at the things that they're doing, I would say, oh, you're not practicing enough.
You're not practicing.
It's usually, oh, you're not practicing enough.
Yeah. You need to practice more. Okay. Find yourself usually doing something means that, you realize you realize later that you did it.
Yes.
That feeling of like, oh, I didn't even realize that I was doing it, but I found myself doing something.
Right. It's that feeling of, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
How, like, he has two personalities.
Yes.
And one person will take him somewhere really far away.
Yeah.
And then he'll turn into the other personality. And you're like, oh, why am I here? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
He finds himself in a strange place.
That's right.
That is the feeling. However, there are situations where it doesn't mean that exactly.
Okay. How about this? Do you ever find yourself questioning your career choice?
Not really. I knew what I wanted to do since I was 8. So find yourself means like, do you ever just realize that you don't maybe like your career choice?
Right. I find myself daydreaming when I should be studying.
This is a good one because daydreaming, it does feel like you stop thinking like logically, like you're just letting your imagination go.
Yeah.
And then you kind of come back to reality. Oh, man, I'm daydreaming. Oh.
Here's another example. A lot of people find themselves thinking about all of their worries when they lay their head on the pillow. And so then it helps them, it distracts them, and they can't get to sleep because they've got racing thoughts.
Yeah, like people who have like anxiety or worry sometimes.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they like to stay really busy.
Yeah.
They don't like to be alone, or they don't like to be in a quiet place.
Right.
Because they don't want to find themselves thinking about the things that worry them, right?
Yeah. So there is that idea of like, you don't even realize that you're doing it, but you find yourself doing something and you think, oh, wait a second. When did I do that?
Oh, yeah. What?
What was I doing?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that feeling, that realization, sudden realization.
Yes. Okay. And of course, we all know, most of us know what self-control is. And this is kind of similar to show restraint.
Yes.
If there was a difference, what could it be? Or is it the same?
So I do think restraint is very much like anger, or there's something that you want to do that you're kind of holding back. And it maybe feels like you almost don't. Like it might be visible. Self-control, I do feel like you really do have much more control. And I will say, before we go into these example sentences, Korean people like to use the word mind control for this.
Mind control.
Which is a little bit of a Konglish meaning. Mind control means you are controlling another person's mind.
Oh,
but
yes.
And Koreans use it usually for like controlling your own emotions and controlling yourself. Here, self-control is probably what you would do as a native English speaker.
Okay, Okay, so please keep that in mind. I have no self-control when I see an ice cream shop.
You just go in and you buy 5 flavors of ice cream.
Okay, did I do the first dialogue? I don't think I did.
No.
Okay, I think I should call Becky. It's been a whole day and she hasn't called me.
You need more self-control. She'll call you when she's ready.
Okay.
Don't call her too much or she'll get annoyed. Do you have
Okay.
anything? What is something you do not have self-control?
Self-control? My stationery.
Oh, you have to buy the stationery.
I have to buy my pens. You know, I have no self-control. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you?
So plants, you know how I grow plants?
Yeah.
I like plant the seed and I want to check on the roots. But if you check on the roots, you can like break them.
Oh.
But sometimes I just look anyway and I see that I break my roots and I have to start again.
No self-control,
No
Cameron.
self-control.
Okay. Yes, we are very human, aren't we?
Yeah,
okay. Power pattern, not always, which means kind of like, kind of yes.
It can mean anything from never to 99% of the time. It's a very
Okay.
vague phrase.
All right. Not always. Sometimes they have really good sales.
Not always. I sometimes go to the movies instead. Yeah.
So it really depends on the context. Okay, do check out the Power Vocab on page 42. There is a definition there. Burn is our word. And thank you so much for studying with us. It's a wrap for today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.